We have been conditioned to believe that being liked is our greatest protection. From the time we are children, we are told that if we are nice, if we are helpful, and if we make others feel comfortable, the world will reward us with safety. But as we move into the higher levels of power and influence, we discover a brutal truth. Approval is a cheap currency. It is easy to get, but it has no buying power when the stakes are high. In fact, the more we chase being liked, the more we signal to the world that we are manageable. And in the architecture of the mind, what is manageable is never respected. We see people every day who are everyone's favorite person, yet they are the first to be overlooked for a promotion, the first to be ignored in a crisis, and the first to be betrayed in a conflict. In this video, we are ending the era of the nice guy and the people pleaser. We are learning why respect is the only foundation that actually holds weight. In this video, we are breaking down the psychological shift from version 1 approval seeking to version 2 strategic respect. We will examine the compliance tax, the hidden cost we pay every time we say yes just to avoid tension. We will explore why humans are biologically programmed to test the boundaries of those they like, while they instinctively obey those they respect. By the end of this video, we will have a blueprint for recalibrating every relationship in our lives. We will learn how to build a persona that doesn't ask for permission to exist, but demands a seat at the head of the table. Think about the person in our life who constantly asks for favors, but never seems to show up when we need them. Think about the colleague who talks over us in meetings, or the friend who forgets to include us in important decisions. Why does this happen? It happens because we have trained them that our approval is free. When we prioritize being liked, we are essentially telling the world, "My boundaries are flexible if you just give me a smile." We feel exhausted. We feel resentful. We wonder why our kindness isn't being reciprocated. But the truth is, we aren't being kind, we are being compliant. And compliance doesn't breed loyalty. It breeds exploitation. We are currently paying a compliance tax on our time, our energy, and our reputation. Today, we stop paying it. In social psychology, there is a phenomenon known as cognitive dissonance in respect. If we are too easy to please, the other person's brain doesn't value our pleasure. They think, if I didn't have to work for their approval, it must not be worth much. However, when we set a hard boundary, when we say no or point out a mistake, it creates a moment of friction. To resolve that friction, the other person's brain has to justify why they are still engaging with us. Their subconscious concludes, this person has high standards. They are a person of substance. I need to be careful with how I treat them. This is why we often respect the difficult person more than the nice person. The difficult person forces us to raise our game. The nice person allows us to lower it. Furthermore, respect is tied to predictability and strength. If we always agree, we are a known variable. We are boring. But if we are willing to disagree, we become a strategic force. We become a person whose opinion has a price. Consider the rise of a certain 15th century diplomat who was tasked with negotiating between warring city-states. His predecessors had all tried to be liked. They brought gifts, they made jokes, they tried to prove how friendly they were. They were all executed or ignored. This diplomat moved differently. In his first meeting, he didn't bring a gift. He pointed out a flaw in the king's defense strategy. The room went silent. The guards reached for their swords, but the king paused. He realized that this man was the only one in the room not lying to him to win his favor. The king didn't like the diplomat in that moment, but he respected him more than his entire court of sycophants. The diplomat became the king's most trusted advisor. He understood that approval is a shifting sand, but respect is a rock. He chose the rock, and he built an empire on it. To shift from approval to respect, we must implement these 4 tactical shifts. Step 1. The no apology boundary. When we decline a request or set a limit, we do not provide a paragraph of excuses. An excuse is a plea for approval. It says, "Please don't be mad at me for saying no." Instead, we state the fact, "I won't be able to do that." Or, "That doesn't work for me." By removing the apology, we signal that our no is a final decision, not a negotiation. Step 2. Selective disagreement. We stop nodding along to things we don't believe in. Even in small conversations, if someone says something we find incorrect or illogical, we offer a calm counterpoint. "I see it differently." We don't argue for the sake of winning. We disagree for the sake of stating our presence. It shows that we have an internal compass that isn't swayed by the current of the room. Step 3. The corrective pause. When someone interrupts us or treats us with a lack of respect, we do not continue talking louder. We stop. We wait for the silence to return. We look at them for 2 seconds, just long enough for them to realize they've overstepped, and then we continue exactly where we left off. This is a soft correction. It reestablishes who is in control of the interaction without needing a confrontation. Step 4. The scarcity of praise. We stop being praise factories. If we tell everyone they are doing a great job every 5 minutes, our great job becomes meaningless. We save our validation for when it is truly earned. When we are stingy with our praise, people start to crave it. They start to work harder to get it. Our approval becomes a reward rather than a default. Making this shift requires us to become comfortable with social friction. For many of us, the idea of someone being upset with us is terrifying. But we must realize that friction is the heat that forges respect. Every time we stand our ground, we are shedding the old, weak version of ourselves. We are realizing that we don't need the world to love us to be successful. In fact, being too loved by everyone is often a sign that we aren't standing for anything. When we choose respect, we are choosing power over popularity. We are choosing a legacy that lasts over a moment of comfort. We are becoming the person that people look to when things get difficult because they know we are the only ones strong enough to tell the truth. We have shifted our foundation from the sand of approval to the stone of respect. We are no longer easy to deal with, and that is our greatest asset. But as we gain respect, we will find ourselves in rooms with other powerful people. We will be invited to the inner circles where the real decisions are made. And in those rooms, there is a new game. It isn't about being seen or even being respected, it's about influence. How do we guide the hand of the powerful without them even realizing we are there? How do we become the whisperer behind the throne? In our next video, we are diving into the shadow advisor strategy. We will show you how to lead from the background, making your will manifest through the actions of others. Subscribe to continue the evolution. The game is changing. We will see you in the next lesson.